I'm Breann McGregor. Thank you, Theron, for being here with me. So, so my first question for you is, how has COVID affected your life and all aspects of your life, whatever you feel comfortable with as far as talking about? And the second question that I have for you as well is, what have you been doing to keep yourself focused during this global pandemic? So first, let's start with how has COVID affected your life since March?
Well, I mean, since the funny part is I got COVID 2 days after my birthday, March 15th. So I was sick until I wasn't able to be around my wife and my kids until April 14th. So like almost a month. And I had to be hospitalized twice. And I never had asthma before. I needed an asthma pump. I was like on promethazine and all these medications and all these things to try to get me better. And I had liquid on my lungs and I couldn't breathe. Definitely a scary time. And I lost so much weight. I gained weight back, but right now I'm 195, 96 pounds, give or take. But
are you feeling better?
No, I feel amazing, but I was 200 pounds before COVID, and then I was 172 pounds.
Oh, what?
Yeah. So I was just
really. So how is it? People have been saying different things about it. How this is unlike the flu that people are used to. These are symptoms.
Yeah, it's unlike the flu. The flu. The flu. You're in the bed and you feel bad, yes, and you're weak, but I lost my sense of taste and I lost my sense of smell and my body was in pain. And when I mean in pain, like you can do this to me and it hurt. Not grab me. I mean just like, hey T, and and it would be like, yo, don't do that. That hurts.
Wow.
And it was scary for me because I would be up all night because I was afraid to go to sleep because I couldn't breathe well. And my breathing was so terrible. I was afraid. I was like, yo, what if I go to sleep and I die? Because I can't breathe right now. And I don't really know how it works when you're sleeping. So it was just scary things.
Afraid of the asphyxiation of,
Yes.
Wow. Crazy.
And I watched I watched a whole bunch of movies and shows because I stayed up all night and which probably wasn't the best thing to not get the most sleep that I could have gotten being sick, but no lies. Like I was genuinely afraid to sleep,
Wow.
And then I got better.
I mean, I just remember, sorry to cut you off. I remember the global pandemic becoming like, it was major headline news March 16th. So you literally got it as soon as
As soon as it hit, as soon as it became news, I was one of the first people just tore up from the floor up. Really, really messed up with it.
And it took you a month to just recover completely to
recover 100%. Yeah. Wow. But I was fully grateful, man. I was so happy when I got out, and it's so funny. That was in March, and me and my mom and my dad and we spoke every single day because they were so afraid, and my parents live in Georgia, but they were afraid. They couldn't come see me. So they was just like, my mom was worried and my dad was worried, but we talked every single day and we laughed. And
your wife and your kids, were they able to come see you at the time?
Well, I stayed at, okay. So, thank God that I have a big house. So I'm blessed. I have a big house. My house is 3 stories. So I stayed in the basement, which how my basement is set up, it's like a guest suite. So it's a bedroom, a bathroom, a full kitchen, right. The whole kit and caboodle, everything. I have everything in the basement. And so my wife, who's amazing, she would just cook and make me food and she would bring it downstairs and leave it at the door. She wouldn't be able to stay because obviously we didn't want both of us to become sick because who's going to take care of our children?
Right.
So, I got better. And so that's definitely how COVID affected me. Like I got sick and I was seeing some of my friends who didn't believe in it. And it was like, oh, this is fake. And I, and I would call them and I would be like, yo, bro, like I'm sick right now, bro. I'm like, I had to be hospitalized twice. I'm on medication. I really thought I was going to die. Like my body felt like it was shutting down, you know, like it was just scary for
Uh,
me.
how did it, so you're saying it was about a month or so that you had this. How did it affect your work? Were you able to do anything from home, like work remote
No,
at all?
I wasn't able to do anything. So a whole month I was totally, completely shut down. You know, no music, no working, no creativity. You know, I was just really focused on getting better, man. I wanted to, when you think you're gonna die, like things come into perspective. Like I'm being, with no disrespect to anybody, I didn't give a fuck about work. You know what I mean? I didn't care at all.
No,
It
good
was,
for you. Absolutely, for taking care of you and just,
yeah,
you were your number one priority.
at the
And
time.
yeah, and not only that, it's like, imagine this, in March, we didn't know much about it. It's like, you just
It was a
knew
mystery.
instinctively, like, hey, I've got to take care of Theron, and I can't worry about anything else. I can't worry about work. Like, this is what I've got to do for me. Without us knowing as much as we know now, with all the studies that we've had and all the people that have been sick, this was way in the beginning. So, I mean, for you to take, to be as proactive as you were, it's very, I'm proud of you. Most of us,
Man, thank you.
oh my God, I got to worry, about work or do this or that. But I mean, it obviously, you had other feelings, like, this isn't a joke. This is something serious.
It's serious. It's something to take serious.
Wow.
Yeah. And then Drew, the whole time, honestly, the only thing I wanted to do was like hug my kids, kiss on my kids, hug my wife. And I know that's, that might sound cliche, but when you literally can't touch people or be around them and hold them, and then you're like, yo, bro, what if I die? You mean to tell me I'm alive and I can't touch or hold, or yo, bro, you just want to hug everybody, kiss on everybody, love on everybody, and when I was able to, I kind of overdid it till I drove my kids crazy for sure. They were like, okay, daddy, we get it,
Yeah, right.
But it was definitely,
wow,
it was a good time to feel better. And, but the funny part is me having it made me extremely unafraid of it, which is weird. Because some people who have it, they're like, whoa. And I'm like, me having it and understanding it. And what I mean, I wear my mask when I go to the grocery store, when I'm around strangers, yes. And if I'm on a plane and if I'm doing, but, it made me unafraid in the sense of I wasn't afraid to go somewhere. And it made me so unafraid to try things. Because I was like, yo, bro, I thought I was going to die. So now I'm like, yo, I'm with whatever. Where y'all trying to go? What y'all trying to do? Because, yo, last week I almost wasn't here anymore. And now that I have this second win, or let me call it a second chance at life, I don't want to waste any time. I want to enjoy every minute of it.
Yeah, it's crazy the way you're saying this. So the fact that you did have it so soon, and the fact that it broke the stigma of what COVID is to so many that have never had it or had anyone close to them that has like had to face the reality of it. I myself have found myself in this loophole of staying confined within four walls because I am so scared of catching it. And I mean, I have autoimmune disorder, so I have issues that make me more susceptible than other people. But and the very fact of the unknown. So it's crazy to hear you say the fact that I had it makes me not scared of it. And just the very fact that I know of people who have had it, but as far as those immediate or close to me, no one has had it in the sense of like where I've had to be very scared or anything like that. But I just know that from the news, I try to not watch it because I just find myself having more and more anxiety to leave the house. And so I've just this huge hole for myself to get out of, which is why, one of the reasons I started this project was I spoke to you one night. I lost you. There we go.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. So I was talking with my therapist about trying to create something for myself that is familiar with me since I am displaced. And he said, let's you know, face something that you fear, and something for me was school, and that didn't work out. So I started this. And since starting this project and speaking to a lot of my friends or whatnot, and hearing the different things that people have experienced lets me know that I'm not alone in the sense of like that isolation feel. But I will say you are the first person who, I mean, in the beginning, most people have said like, dude, this is super scary. Like, take it seriously, wear the mask or whatnot. But
Yeah.
To the extent of where you're at, where, you know, you had it right from the very beginning. And so right off the bat, it's like, look, dude, I've got the antibodies. And at the end of the day, if it is, like you said, it's like, if it's your last day and you're not sure if tomorrow's going to come, I'm just going to live it type of thing. And I know that, I'm really proud of you, because that's very courageous and brave. I mean, some people might think like, you know, don't be, I mean, you're very smart about it. Like you said, you take it even more serious. The fact that you've had it, you're taking every precaution as far as wearing your mask when you go out, regardless of where you go. I'm just trying to get myself to leave the house, just to get out there. Like, I haven't gone to a grocery store yet, anywhere except a gym. And I've been about 4 times, but I've worn my mask the entire time. And I think in the state of Florida, I don't even know if masks are mandated anymore.
No.
But oh, they're not, huh?
Neither is it in Georgia.
Wow. See, and I'm like just going outside as if this is like all fresh. And for me, it's like everything seems so foreign. And I'm walking around like, and I feel alone in this bubble, because I've created this for myself. But I just know that I'm not alone in this. But it feels more reassuring to hear from someone who's had it, and to say, hey, look, like, it's real. You know, some people have gotten it and they said, I had a friend who said, yeah, I've gotten it, but I didn't even know I had it. So, you know, you get these mixed contradictory stories where you're like, oh my God, like, okay, it's like, you know, how do you know if you have it or you don't have it type of thing. Then to hear someone say, hey, look, I had it, knocked me off my feet, couldn't do anything, but look, I'm getting out there. That to me is reassuring, in the sense of like, okay, like, it's going to be okay. Because for a lot of people, I feel like I'm not alone in the sense of they play on fear to get people to.
Yeah. I like I was telling you, like I was trying to say earlier, I feel like a new boxer. So with new boxers, anybody who boxes, they always say that their number one fear in getting in the ring was being knocked out. And then once you've been knocked out and you're like, oh, okay, cool, I'm not afraid to get hit anymore. So the fear was, oh, catching it, and then I got it, almost died. I know how serious it is. I know the precautions. I know how to move. And now I'm like, with you know, no disrespect to anybody else, because I think everybody needs to travel their journey their way. But I'm like, bro, I'm not staying home, bro. I'm out. I'm moving. And this year has been a real tricky year for me, because you got to think, I mean, my father-in-law passed, then I got COVID, and then my dad just passed, and you know, my dad was diagnosed with cancer September 11th and died September 21st.
This was something recent.
Yeah, we just found, it wasn't like he was fighting it for 7 years or something. Wow. We found out and he was gone. So for me, it's like, I've been looking at life from a sense of like, yo, tomorrow isn't promised. You know, it's like an old proverb or old saying. They say, if you want to hear God laugh, tell him your plans. And I believe that, you know, because, yo, me and you can be like, hey, after Christmas break, we should get up. You should come to Atlanta and we should hang out. And then you hear, yo, Theron got in a car accident and it's over. You know, you don't know. And the unknown is becoming less and less scary for me. It's not taking the opportunities that I know are there is what's scaring me more. Wow. Like, hold up. Wait, bro. You mean to tell me I can do this and accomplish this and make this happen, but I'm going to not do it because of something that has not happened yet. Whoa, you know, and and it's so funny. Everybody used to be like, yo, you only live once, you only live once. And then it was randomly, I was on Twitter and somebody said, yo, you only die once, you live every day. And that knocked me down. Like I sat down like, holy shit, bro.
So true.
That's the truth. And I was like, you know, so I've just been preparing for, like, no lie, I'm preparing for my tomorrows. I'm doing things to make my tomorrows better. So I'm like, yo, bro, I made my wife happy today. So when she wakes up with me tomorrow, she can't wait to see me. I did something good for my kids and my mom and my brother and my friends and my family and for my career. So if I'm going to be around another 100 years, great. If I'm going to be around another 2, who knows? Because we don't know. And we can't. And the funny part is when you living like you know is what helps the fear. It's like, you're like, yo, I'm just trying to be here for 10 years. And I'd be like, bro, if I told you had 5 hours left to live, you probably would go to all the grocery stores in Florida. Right. Every last one.
Yeah.
You know, like,
whoa.
And with that being said, I just feel like the most important thing for us right now is to live and to spread our light, especially when you know you have light. Like my dad had light, bro, and he would be out every day, moving around, talking to people, meeting, and I'm talking about complete strangers. Yeah. You know, not just people he knew. I mean, strangers. And for me, I see that as a sign that that's the kind of life and legacy that I want to leave back. Being out in front of people and meeting them and being nice and letting people know, yo, I love you. You know, I made a joke and I was telling my friends, I'm like, bro, I'm telling everybody I love them. When the telemarketer call, I'm gonna tell them I love them. I'm gonna make everybody uncomfortable because the funny part, the world is weird. We're like, if a stranger says they love you, it makes you uncomfortable as to a stranger saying, yo, fuck off. And you saying, well, I'll flip the bird back. And you'll be like, you can imagine the nerve of that guy. And you walk away because people are crazy. But to me, you know, somebody that says like, hey, I love you and I wish you the best. Nigga, you don't even know me. It doesn't matter. You're a human being. You're alive. You're breathing, you know. And more than ever, I've realized that we all, you know, and me and you've had conversations about this before. I realized that we all have purpose. You got to think, bro.
And I'm more like, that's another reason I started this too, is because one of my main things is mental health, and I'm very strong about it. I suffer from depression. I suffer from PTSD. I don't hide these things. It's very much part of my life. It is who I am. So me hiding it is basically hiding myself. So I feel like the more honest I am with myself about it, and the more I voice it and speak to others about it, even though it makes other people uncomfortable, because there is a stigma attached to mental illness. Oh, you're sick, or you have to, there's certain things wrong with you. And I totally disagree with that. I think that if anything, it's a gift. It's just that society can't keep up with us. In the sense of like ADHD or, you know, OCD, that there's things that I think that our brains work a lot faster than the average person. And therefore society's trying to slow us down, keep us contained. Meanwhile, we're jumping ahead, and they can't swallow that. So let's just stick them with these people have an issue and a disorder and label everything as, you know, this is a mental illness and we'll classify it to this. And that's not the case whatsoever. And because of society doing certain things, you know, and of course your environment and circumstances create other things where you start to suppress things down, and then you have your depression build up. And then of course, you know, it can also be something that is you're born with, you know, genetics. But there's so many different factors, but I don't believe that mental illness means that anyone is crazy. I think it's something that is
no, but you know, I think, you know, this is deep, and I'm not a doctor, and I don't want anybody to quote me and feel like I'm trying to overdo anything. But I feel like mental illness is if if your brain doesn't work. Hear me out for a second. If to me, if my brain, but a defect, to me, a mental defect is like a birthmark. It doesn't mean that you're not capable of living, loving, enjoying life. But the thing about it is, you can make a handicap worse if you convince someone that their handicap is what's holding them back. If I told you the reason why you can't get there is because you don't have legs, if I say it enough and I convince you, then you're not going to try to get anywhere. Whereas I say, hey, you have hands. Hey, if you can't walk, you can crawl. If you can't crawl, you can roll. But you can figure it out if you want to.
Right.
And I think when people use mental, it's like, okay, you suffer depression. So that just means that you get sad more than the average person. Whatever I'm happier than the average person. I'm happy all the time. My wife gets a no, for real. My wife would be like, do not come.
I love it though.
No,
please explain. No, I think this is freaking excellent advice for anyone that loves like what you told me. I still to this day will not forget it about talking and how, hey, you like to talk, because I think it opened up this huge platform for you that like I was able to connect to you, and I literally feel like you saved my life. And like that's, I mean, I've known you, but it's the craziest thing because it is so true. So like what your wife, like insisted on you doing, like, hey, you love to do this, go for it, keep doing it, but go do it over here. Like, I can take a dose of you, Theron, but only so much, my love. But you gotta like just go handle it somewhere else.
You have to use that energy. And my thing is, if you like to be silly, don't let anybody break that down and convince you that it's a bad thing. And if you like to dance, if there's something about you that can be, let's use the word annoying. Yeah, and it's okay, because maybe you're annoying that person because they're dealing with it on a 24-hour level basis with you. But how about if you spread it out to the world and gave the world that, where people can embrace it in doses? It might be the thing that changed your life financially, successfully.
Absolutely.
Because
you saved a life, like for me, in every sense. I mean, I think that your wife saying, hey, go do this, like that is beautiful that she made you go out and embrace it. Like, not made you, but like, hey, go, if you love this, you should go and do this. Like, there was options. Like, I think that's beautiful. Like, encouraging you to like, hey, you like to talk, man, go for it. Go do it.
Listen, the worst thing that we can do is tell somebody something is wrong with them. You know what I mean? Like, don't get me wrong, cancer is something wrong. But again, like, the whole ADHD thing and the ADD thing, and I've never been diagnosed, but I mean, I would say I'm ADHD or ADD. I could barely. No, I'm just saying, it's so hard to keep my attention. Sometimes I forget things so bad. I have these things. I always need to constantly move and keep going. I can't sit still. Sometimes while you're talking to me, I'll zone out and go into this other world. And I'm like, yeah, but I've also changed my entire family's life. I've also, helped. I've also done things for my kids and my wife that my mom and dad couldn't do. And so, you know what? Imagine if I listen to people and it's like, yo, something is wrong with you, bro. You can't stay focused. But I'm like, yeah, I can't stay focused. But look at all these things that I have.
Right.
But look at all the things that I can do, not focused. And guess what? You're focused and you can't do what I can do. So you know what? Why would I want to be focused like you? You can't write 20 songs in 4 hours. You can't. And you're so focused and organized that if I could, but guess what? I can. And I am unfocused and unorganized.
Right. But that's your gift too, in the sense
it's my gift.
Mm-hmm.
It's my gift. And guess what? I'm not saying that I don't want to work on getting more focus and work on being organized. Those are positive things, yes, but that doesn't make me any less great because I haven't mastered those things. That's the good part about living. The
No, I
more
think
time,
it's beautiful what you're saying now is the sense that, like, hey, look, because I've never suppressed these feelings to make myself come down to what is normal and what is considered okay. You're normal, and now you're focused. This is what focus looks like. You have been allowed to go out and craft at your own speed, and look what you've managed to do. And I think that that's amazing. It actually makes me question whether or not, I know you're not a doctor. I'm not a doctor. And of course, whatever I do, I would talk with my doctor to discuss it. But maybe I'm not allowing myself to channel things because of medication that I'm on, because it's, suppressing certain things. Because I know as an artist, it's not like you just go sit down and you can just do it. It doesn't work like that. It's like you get in the moment. I've always got paper on me, a pen. I'm writing all over myself. If I I'll take out my phone, start recording stuff or whatever it is. I just like to have an outlet with me wherever I'm at because it's sporadic. It's not like I can just go 9 to 5 and say, okay, today I'm going to go be creative and do this. It doesn't work like that. And maybe I am suppressing it with medication. Again, like I said, I don't want to do anything without talking with my doctor, but I think it's beautiful then, like how you've just expressed it, because it's like, wow, we never look at it or hear it the way you've just said it. At least I haven't, like, instead of controlling it and being what you can call focused, I'm working on those things. Yes, it's positive to stay focused, but I'm working with what I have, with what I've got, and this is what's coming from it. And I think that is really positive.